So if you haven't heard by now, about a week ago, Usain Bolt, along with many other investors, lost a lot of money in their investment account. We're not sure how much other people lost, but when it comes to Usain Bolt, he lost about $12.7 million out of his investment account. And I think they left about like $12,000 in his account. So they took the 12.7, left him about $12,000, which I thought was kind of nice because, you got recession, inflation. They said, just leave him with a little bit of cash because, he got to pay bills, he got rent to pay. So they said, let's not take all his money and just leave him with a little something so he could get by till they figure this out, right? But yeah, so they took out 12.7 of his account and left about 12,000. And the crazy thing is, I think they got the FBI involved, and this all happened in Jamaica. So these are investment accounts that happened in Jamaica, so it's not in the United States. But I think now they're getting the FBI involved to figure out what's going on. And the crazy thing, they might have a suspect when it comes to like figuring out who took the money. It's all alleged, but they think they might have a person of interest that might be the reason why all this money is gone. So come across this article. Let's go to the article and see like what's going on because there's a lot to get into because right now they have so much that they're trying to figure out. They got the lawyers involved. Obviously, they're trying to get the money back, which is going to be kind of tough. But when you hear the reason or the person that's alleged to have taken this money, the reason why this person took the money, hear that person's story, it's gonna be crazy, right? So it says Olympic legend Usain Bolt has lost over $12.7 million from his bank account from the Jamaican private investments firm Stocks and Securities Limited, according to his lawyers. The FBI is officially involved in the investigation. So SSL is currently under surveillance as the eight-time Olympic gold medalist is one of 30 alleged victims affected. The sprinter, who was left with $12,000 open an account in 2012 and has not withdrawn or transferred any money since the account was intended to serve as a pension for the athlete and his parents, Bolt's attorney. So in a letter written to SSL on January 16, Gordon threatened legal action if his client's money was not restored within 10 days. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough to get that money back, and that's the crazy thing, man. It's so crazy because, like, obviously here living in the United States, I mean, there's so much regulation and so much assurance when it comes to making sure that your investments are safe and they're not stolen. Obviously, you got Ponzi schemes like, I forgot the guy's name, but, I forgot his name, what it was, but he took a lot of money. He took a lot of money from other people. But when it comes to like investment accounts, people that have a good reputation, you're pretty much assured that your money is safe, unless obviously things go wrong with the investment, stocks go down, then obviously there's no insurance when it comes to that. But you have an insurance that your money's going to be safe. Like whatever's in there, it's going to be there. No one's going to steal that money. But when you're investing in foreign countries, I mean, it's obviously, if you're not from that country, it's hard to really like have the confidence. So because I'm not familiar with Jamaican, obviously Jamaica's investment firms, so I don't know the trust level when it comes to that. So it's really like hard to be like, oh, would I invest in Jamaica's investment accounts? I probably wouldn't because I'm not familiar with it. But it's good to, like, when you're living in the United States, at least you have some level of assurance that knowing that your money is relatively safe. So according to reports by Loop Jamaica News, the company's total alleged fraud is estimated at $3 billion, and SSL has reported that it only has $1 million in insurance for the investments in it managed. So as of January 17, Jamaica's Financial Service Commission announced they were assuming temporary management of SSL and appointing candidates, blah, blah, blah. So a suspect has already confessed to fraud and even given authorities a list of victims. But the story gets complicated as Bolt's name was not mentioned, according to the former SSL CEO. The company wasn't even aware that he was a client. So basically, the person that's involved in this already confessed to the actual crime and gave him a list of names of all the people that may have been frauded. But Usain Bolt is not listed on that name. But as you go through the story, that you'll see that a lot of people are saying that this individual was the main person that handles Usain Bolt's account. So it's kind of weird that his name isn't mentioned or is not on the list that she's given. So obviously they'll go through the investigation and figure out more. So here's the latest update. So former SSL employee confesses the crime. So on January 10th, SSL reported that the multi-million-dollar fraud scheme on the FSC. That report was filed with Jean Ann Panton, an SSL client relationship manager, gave a written statement dated on January 7th in which she confessed to the crime. All right, so they went to her house and they see, so it says police swooped down on property in St. Andrew. They are searching the home of Jean Ann, the former client service manager in Stock Security Limited. She's said to have defrauded nearly 40 clients. All right, so that's a lot of money. It's a lot of people and it's a lot of money. So the Financial Investigation Division is currently making arrangements to lay charges against her. Penton has been with SSL for 25 years. In her statement, Penton said that all this started around 2010 when her father was diagnosed with cancer, and she was primarily responsible for the care and finances. So obviously you have the motive for why why this person frauded so many of her clients. So he had to go overseas for treatment, and he was not employed at the time. It was at this point I thought of borrowing the client's accounts to cover my father's expenses, Penton wrote. I had no idea how I would pay it back, but that was the solution. That was my solution at the time. Approximately 3 years after he passed away, and I also had to assist with the funeral expenses, and I also borrowed from the client's accounts to cover the funeral expenses. So she had no idea how she was going to pay it back. Basically, she wasn't going to pay it back because unless she's a multimillionaire, she's not going to pay that back. She doesn't have the money. She's not going to get that money from anywhere else. So she had no plans of paying that back. She was obviously in a tight situation, and she had family that she wanted to take care of. And obviously, when you're desperate like that, you do desperate things when it comes to money. So it's messed up. But obviously this is all legend, and they have a person of interest. So I'm sure they'll do an investigation to figure out what's going on. So it says later on, Penton wrote that her brother attempted to kill her mother and was committed to a home, which led to more expenses she had to cover. My financial burden increased during the COVID-19 pandemic, and income from SSL decreased. Penton wrote, I was unable to repay the funds and continue to take funds at various purposes. Penton, who is yet to be charged in relation to the fraud, but is set to be questioned by authorities, also wrote a list of clients she took money from. Bolt's name wasn't listed. So that's kind of funny that, obviously he's $12.7 million is gone and he's not on that list. So that's kind of weird. Because imagine losing $12.7 million. Like, you have an investment and you just, over the years that you just somehow just like, you come to you check your account and then you find out $12.7 million is gone. Like, I don't know. I can only imagine how that would feel, right? I don't have millions of dollars in any investment account, but to say the fact that you could lose that amount of money, man, it's crazy. So, I mean, and the fact that no one notices that, it's like, if I got that much money in an account, I'm always on it. Like, I'm having an accountant, check my accountant. So it's just crazy that you can allow something like that to just go unnoticed, right? So it says SSL claims it was unaware Bolt was a client. So it says, according to a report by Luke Jamaican News, Zachary, who was the CEO of SSL, and he was not aware of Bolt or any company affiliated with Olympic legend was a client at the entity, and that he only learned of Bolt being a client of SSL when his news broke on the media. At no time did Bolt or any company he may have been affiliated with ever come up with as being a client of SSL while I was there, Harding said. It was also recently discussed that from a reliable source that Bolt's team only dealt with one person at SSL, and that was Jean Ann Penton. All right. And the complex situation was unanswered questions have led to a lot of commotion. Bolt seemed to indirectly respond to the thought of social media posts. And so like I said, though, so this talks about Jamaica's financial sector receives criticism. So obviously, like I said, there's going to be a lot of criticism when it comes to the handling of money over, in Jamaica when it comes to investments. That's gonna hurt their trust. There's going to be a lot of people not willing to invest. And obviously, since Bolt is from there, he wants to, help his country. He wants to put the money back into his country. And then the fact that you have something like this happens, like, you're going to be scared to ever invest money back into that, right? You're going to want to make sure that whatever you invest in your money, you want to make sure that it is secure and that whatever money you put in there is going to be there when you want it, when you need it. So it's going to be it's going to be tricky to figure out, see where this goes. And right now they got the FBI involved. So, that's a Jamaican, obviously it's a Jamaican issue, and then they got the FBI involved. So it's good. I mean, they're going to figure it out. And then, obviously if she's the person that's the one, a part of the scandal, if maybe there's someone else, they figure that out as well. So I'll make sure to keep up with this. Anything that I hear, I'll make sure to report on it. But it is interesting to see like where this goes, because that's a lot of money to be gone. So I don't know what I would do if I had $12 million in the account and then find out it's gone. That'd be pretty wild. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right. So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.